Done. Go ahead. Hi Cody, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty well. So how was your India trip?
It was good. I enjoyed my week.
So how many applications you got?
All of them.
Well, how many applications you'll select?
Well, that's a good question. So far, we've received over 100 applications from a lot of different countries, and we've supported about 10. So it is a fairly stringent evaluation process that we put the applications through.
So you traveled to 3 cities. So how was your experience in Ahmedabad, Vadodara, and Jaipur?
Good, good. There's a lot of different businesses here. I focus on IT, so that's what I was looking at. So certainly there's a lot of businesses that already have international clients that are looking to expand, and that's right in the area where we want to be.
And tell us something more about the Canada Startup Visa Program, and you represent PEI. So what is it?
Yeah, so the goal is to try and find the best and brightest entrepreneurs and bring them to Canada. So that's my goal in coming to India, is trying to find some entrepreneurs that are here and look to bring them to Prince Edward Island.
Okay, some disturbance was coming up. Mignesh Bhai is there. Okay, we'll get to the questions. So which are the focused areas that you have in terms of the sectors that the startup should be from this sector?
So I primarily work in IT, but I also have colleagues that work in bioscience, biotech. They work in aerospace, they work in manufacturing, marine technology, and even renewable energy. So we look at supporting a startup in any one of those sectors.
And how many startups you already, like you mentioned that you got 150 applications, and out of those 10 were selected. So how many of them were from India?
We have 3 from India.
Okay, you already selected and they've started working.
Yeah. Yes, all 3 have been that we've provided a letter of support to, and they're currently starting.
So what is the investment that startup needs to do for LaunchPad PEI to get selected?
So, it's good that the business has revenue generating already. Then that revenue can be used to support the Canadian entity. In terms of the requirements of the program, they need to demonstrate they have settlement funds. So the settlement funds is to support their living expenses while they're in Canada. But certainly we look at the full financial picture, their potential for revenue generating in that market. Ideally they may have some Canadian clients already that they would shift to the Canadian operation. So we look at all of those factors to make sure that they have the best chance of success.
Okay, and do you support financially to startups?
We have a number of programs that provide financial support, and they depend on the activities that the businesses are undertaking. So, we have programs that help in things like marketing, if there's capital costs, there's the potential for labor support, and some of those are available as grants, some of them are available to support R&D activities, and some of them are loan options.
So one of the questions that came up was of the weather, because the weather in Canada, there is always a lot of discussion about it.
Yeah.
So what's the weather in PEI?
Well, the weather was good whenever I left. I think people feel the worst whenever they think of the Canadian weather. I think that they feel that it's snow all the time, and maybe we still live in igloos. But the weather is certainly gets cold across Canada. We do get snow. But we're very practiced at getting rid of the snow when it's gone. And we're on the Atlantic Ocean. We're on the East Coast, so certainly that helps us stay a little bit warmer than some of the other Canadian cities.
So this startup visa has a permit. So you give PR also to all the people.
That's right.
So you directly give it to the PR, or you ask them to come to visit PE and see PEI and how is it, and then take a call. So generally how it works?
Yeah, typically, as part of our evaluation process, we ask for the applicants to visit PEI. So that way, they feel comfortable investing their time and their business, into the problem.
Yeah, so welcome to the part 2 of our interview with Cody. So Cody, like you mentioned about the startup visa program of Canada and the opportunities that Prince Edward Island has with the LaunchPad PE program. So how do you identify people who are just in it just for the permanent residency thing and not just for the starting of a business?
Yeah, it does happen. Certainly there's a lot of interest in coming to Canada and a lot of interest in expanding. certainly we do our best to make sure that we present PEI in a positive light and that the entrepreneurs want to locate on PEI.
So historically, have you identified that somebody just got in because of he just wanted to have a PEI, not that?
Not with us yet.
So good evaluation criteria in that case.
Yeah, I'm sure it may have happened, with certain immigration programs, but certainly with this, because it's so focused on the business, then it rarely happens.
And there are a lot of countries who are coming with startup visa programs. So how do you compete? Because everybody has their own way of doing stuff.
Yeah.
But how do you place when you want to attract the best in-class guys? So like you talk about technology startups.
Yeah.
Somebody who's at the peak of his business.
Yeah.
Would that person come to Canada, Prince Edward Island, or somebody else? So how do you compete?
Yeah, I think they would, because right now I think Canada has a really good competitive advantage in that you could have your business in Canada and be able to access the Canadian and the American market, right? So we provide that flexibility, and we're that gateway for businesses to come in and set up shop, and then we have programs available that help them get sales and enter those markets. So from that point of view, it's certainly a safe bet to set up in Canada, and that gives you the flexibility to do that.
And you spent an almost week in India. You went to Ahmedabad, Baroda, and Jaipur also.
Yeah.
So, which was those interesting questions that you people ask you, but you never expected?
Yeah. Got a lot of questions, right? Like we talked about the weather earlier. Like that was one. A lot of people ask about taxes. A lot of people ask about our labor laws and how do they hire. There's a lot of different questions, all good business related, trying to understand, what it is to do business in Canada, what it means to be a PEI, how do we get to customers, for travel and things like that. So all good questions.
And which are those questions that you thought people should have asked?
I think everyone covered quite a bit of doing business in Canada, right? They asked me about how to incorporate, what are the accounting rules that they have to look for, if there's any challenges hiring people. They've asked me about salaries and what those differences are. So no, I think that, between my presentation and the questions, I think we covered quite a bit about how to do business in Canada.
Okay, and Mignesh Bhai is with us, he's traveling. So what is your opinion about him?
Well, Mignesh is like the taller, longer-armed version of me. Right? He also got more hair. He's more fun. So no, certainly he's done an awesome job to try and to represent Canada and to represent PEI.
Yes, he's doing a phenomenal job of bringing all of us together actually.
If you have the chance to zoom in